Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff, joined here by different members from our team. We have Captain Douglas, Commander out here, Lieutenant Franks, Major Cotter, Major Chief Lee, Sergeant Stevens. We're out here at the scene, and first of all, our condolences go out to all the family members that are impacted by the loss of life. At this point, the information I'm going to share is just very preliminary. I always like to emphasize that because it's the initial phases of the investigation, and we always want to be cautious not to delve too deep into it. That's why we have a full investigation. Harris County Sheriff's Office Homicide and our crime scene unit investigators are out here. So at this point, that the initial scene investigation is going on. Earlier this afternoon, a family member discovered 3 deceased bodies inside the residence. They all appear to be teens. Preliminary information that I have is that we have 2 females, possibly ages 17, and we have a male that's possibly 15 years old. I'm not exactly sure about those ages, but somewhere in that range. At this initial stage of the incident, just based on the trauma that was viewed, it appears that this may be a case of a possible double homicide and suicide, but that is still going to be under investigation. But those are the preliminary observations that we have, and so we're going to continue to investigate further. We're told that the homeowner is possibly away on travel, so we're still trying to figure all that out. So at this point, we're not in a position to be able to positively identify anyone, but that's what we have at this point. Briefly in Spanish, esta tarde recibimos una llamada de que un familiar descubrió a 3 personas fallecidas dentro de esta casa residencial. Parece ser que son adolescentes, tal vez las 2 chavas son entre las edades de aproximadamente 17 años y un adolescente tal vez de 15 años, pero no estamos muy seguros. Parece ser que las 2 personas fueron asesinadas y tal vez la otra persona se suicidó aquí en la escena. Es lo que tenemos en este momento. Estamos en las primeras etapas de la investigación y no tenemos más detalles en este momento. Any immediate questions?
Sheriff, you said that 3 of them, that a family member had come home to find these 3 bodies. How many of those bodies and who lived in this? Did they live in this home? Were they family members? All of them?
We don't know the full connection at this point. Again, it's still all very preliminary. We know a family member was trying to locate someone. They came to the location. They didn't get a response. I'm not sure. Lieutenant, if you know, they forced entry. They gained entry into the home, or perhaps it was a log or something.
There's family members that live next door.
Okay, family members that live next door and went in and discovered 3 bodies. After that, they pulled out our initial, again, observations. There is trauma. Again, it appears that we're seeing some evidence that this could be a case, again, of a double homicide and a suicide, but I don't want to delve too far into that until our investigators get a chance to investigate more fully, and we'll have more updates on that a little bit later. The initial information that I received is that there is a weapon that's inside the home, but again, I'm going to wait to get more feedback from our investigators and crime scene investigators before I have more specifics about that. But it's my understanding that a weapon has been found inside the home. That possibly it appears that it was, but again, it's still preliminary. But a weapon that appears to have been involved in the scene has been observed inside the residence.
Sheriff, are any of these people in a dating relationship or some sort of relationship?
We don't know the full connection at this point. I'm going to wait a little bit just to make sure that we tighten that up a little bit in terms of the possible relationships. We're told that 2 may be related, and the other person may just be an acquaintance or a friend, but we don't know that connection. And again, we want to be careful because, especially if one of the parents involved with this may be away on travel and things like that, we just want to make sure that we get a little bit more information before we can confirm more.
And Sheriff, any of these people?
When we were last seen, possibly last night. We want to make sure that we, protect all evidence and things like that. And we also know it's very hard on the family members as well. And family members start getting information, and they'll, rumors start spreading. So we understand that it's very difficult. And so it's at the end of the day, though, we have to be professionals and process the scene and try to find the truth. And we also want to make sure that if there's a threat to the community, if we're looking for a suspect of some kind, so all those factors come into play. But anytime there's a child involved, at the end of the day, we're all parents in some way and connected to young people, and it's extremely difficult when we're talking about young people.
And I know that our viewers, they're watching right now, they're interested to know what kind of weapon. Is it a pistol? Is it a long gun?
I can't speak to those details. There'll be ample time. We know it's a firearm, like I said earlier. We haven't even gotten in there to really process the scene at this point, so it would be not good on my part to speak before the investigators get a chance to delve into the investigation.
Understood.
Any word on a possible motive? I know that's all still under investigation.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the exact motive at this time. Hopefully we'll get more information and glean more information from family members and others that may have known them to understand the dynamics. I think once we put the pieces together, motive is always something that tends to reveal itself at some point, and sometimes it makes no sense. These are all senseless at the end of the day. When you're talking about the loss of life of young people, it's tragic.
What will you be working on now, and is there any outstanding threat to the public?
No outstanding threat to the public that we know of at this point. Again, we're proceeding as if it's most likely, at first glance, to be a double murder and suicide. But if anything changes, we'll definitely update our media partners with that information. And so right now, it's just making sure that we start rolling out an intense, follow-up investigation and scene investigation. You're talking about three bodies, and so it's coordination with the medical examiner's office and our crime scene investigation, and so it's very detailed, and you're talking about multiple pieces, so it's a little bit more complex.
Are these Crosby High School students?
I'm not sure what school they were attending or anything like that.
But the teams were all local.
I don't even know they're local. I don't know their identity. Other than three bodies were found, just basic information. It appears that they are connected to this home, but at the end of the day, I don't know if they were visiting or what was going on.
And just for our accuracy.
How are your deputies handling this? Discovery?
Yeah, I haven't talked to the initial people that observed it. We've been talking, and again, we're just talking how, again, it's traumatic for everybody anytime young people are involved. And, we want to make sure that we do a thorough investigation, especially to make sure that, that's something that we're not drawing conclusions up front, that we just be thorough. And so, again, our condolences go out to other family members.
Were the bodies all found in the same part of the house, just so we're accurate in our reporting?
I think two may have been together and another one maybe separate,
But all inside
but inside the home. Three inside the home.
Individuals, they're teenagers. Is there anything that would lead you to believe charges may stem from this? I know it's still early, but there's 11 and teenagers.
All those things will be part of consideration when you're talking about, making a weapon accessible and those type of things. But at this point, I mean, we don't know. The investigation will lead to those determinations at some point if there's any other charges that are applicable on anybody. At this point, it seems to be confined to the three individuals. But if there's other things that could apply, then we'll look at those aspects as well. We leave no stone unturned. That's why we say preliminary, because we start with one thing and it may lead us somewhere else.
Sheriff, you mentioned the homeowner has been away for some time. Do you have an estimate of how?
I don't know. I just believe they were just away on a trip. I don't think it was an extended period of time necessarily, but that's just, I don't know those details other than the homeowner we were told was possibly away on a trip at this time.
No sé si tengan más preguntas ellos en inglés, pero me gustaría si puede hacer comentarios en español sobre los detalles que me estaba compartiendo.
Sí, ¿cuál pregunta en específico?
En específico sobre que el dueño de la casa no estaba ahí, cómo encontraron a estos cuerpos.
Como mencioné anteriormente, llegó alguien, descubrieron los cuerpos y nos llamaron, y es cuando llegamos y encontramos a 3 personas. Ya mencioné las edades. No tenemos más detalles sobre lo que apenas vamos a comenzar la investigación. Pensamos que la dueña o el dueño de la casa en este momento está en viaje. Hay otros familiares alrededor que están llegando a la escena, pero en este momento no sabemos la conexión de todos en este momento. Nosotros nos vamos a enfocar principalmente en la investigación de la escena y veremos a dónde nos lleva la investigación, pero en este momento parece que son 2 personas que fueron asesinadas y una tercera persona que se suicidó aquí adentro de la casa.
¿Y cómo se dio el descubrimiento?
Alguien vino a tratar de localizarlos, parece que no habían contestado el teléfono y llegaron a checar y es cuando entraron a la casa y los encontraron a los cuerpos.
Cuando habla del trauma que sufrieron estas personas, ¿se refiere a disparos? ¿Hay un arma involucrada?
Hay un arma que encontramos, pero no sabemos, nos imaginamos, parece que es con disparo, pero va a ser una investigación forénsica que va a determinar exactamente cómo murieron, porque no puedes determinar que los 3 recibieron heridas de arma o si disparos o si fue otro tipo de trauma. Eso va a ser parte de nuestra investigación.
Obviamente esto involucra a 3 jóvenes, estamos hablando de una situación especialmente difícil, ¿no? ¿Ustedes cómo manejan toda esa situación? No es la primera vez esta semana, estas últimas semanas.
Siempre hay mucho trauma porque al final del día nosotros llegamos, somos profesionales, vamos al trabajo, pero entendemos que son seres humanos que para siempre van a estar infectados por estas escenas. Alguien perdió un ser querido es mucho trauma esta situación, y también nosotros somos padres, tenemos familia, es algo que tenemos que procesar en una manera de que no nos impacte a largo plazo.
Sheriff, did all 3 victims have gunshot wounds?
I don't know the exact nature of the wounds.
Okay.
The firearm was found there, but that'll be part of the forensic investigation by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. There is signs of trauma. It's believed to have been from a firearm, but I don't know the exact nature of the wounds for all 3, and some could have just blunt force trauma. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. There you go. Wait, mic is still on.
Thank you.